All right. I would imagine Congressman Steve King from Republican, who's a big backer of Ted Cruz, does not quite concur with that. So fair and balanced, we wanted to get his take on what Bob Dole had to say about Ted Cruz. Congressman, very good to have you. What obviously Bob Dole was saying, and others have echoed
Thank you, Neil.
To lesser degrees, the likes of John McCain, that Ted Cruz would be a big disruptor and would be too divisive. You say what?
Well, at first, to be critical of Bob Dole, I'm not willing to do that. I have great respect for him as an American patriot. I just look back on the times that we've nominated people that I think he may have characterized as rhinos. I'm not sure I heard that tape correctly. But when we've nominated moderates, they've lost. And when we nominate someone conservative like Ronald Reagan, they've won. And one of the reasons that Ronald Reagan was successful in the ballot box is because Jimmy Carter prepared America for a conservative. And if we believe that that's true, and I believe that's true, Barack Obama has certainly prepared America for a conservative, and everything that Ted Cruz stands for is consistent with the platform and with the oath to uphold the Constitution. So I wouldn't think that Bob Dole would be troubled by that. Freedom of speech, religion, the press, protecting innocent unborn human life, defending marriage, and telling the Supreme Court that they're wrong when they go outside the bounds of the Constitution. I think America would be exhilarated to have a choice like that, between that and a Hillary Clinton who's got a lot of holes poked in her boat these days.
Well, Congress, you talk about someone who speaks up for what he stands for. What's come up over the months, and this is natural in the rough and tumble world of politics, is that folks are saying he doesn't know what he stands for. He's inconsistent on immigration, inconsistent on Obamacare, inconsistent on government spending, supporting budgets that are large, other times denying that he ever did. So a credibility issue has emerged that has cost him some support in this state. Are you worried, as a supporter of his, that he might be losing his appeal?
Well, this is a game of political king of the hill here, and when you go to the top of the polls, everybody takes shots at you. Can you imagine that Mike Huckabee taking the shots on Ted Cruz's religion the way he is? That's out of character for Mike Huckabee, and so he has to carry that. But there could be, I don't know how there could be an allegation of inconsistency with Ted Cruz, at least with regard to Obamacare. He has said repeal every word of Obamacare. He stood on the floor for 21 hours to remind us all of that. I don't think there's anything in his record on that. On the immigration,
what about your governor? Governor Terry Branstad, but your governor Terry Branstad says he's leery about a President Cruz, especially when it comes to things that are near and dear to your state, like ethanol. But it's a bigger picture, getting along once again in Washington.
Well, I helped put together Ted Cruz's ethanol policy that's there, along with Dave Vandergrind, the lead ethanol production fellow in the country. And Terry Branstad's son has drawn down hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they started out with misinformation, and they've been sticking with misinformation, and that legacy will be there true. I can get along with Ted Cruz. We can do business on immigration. Jeff Sessions and I sat down and helped write that policy. I can get along with him on ethanol. That's a couple of big, broad issues. He sticks with his oath. He sticks with his word. He sticks with the constitutional oath. And so I think we have people that are politically to the left of Ted Cruz, and they want their agenda to be what it's been, and that's work with Democrats in order for them to stay in power, rather than work for the people of the United States of America, who want a balanced budget amendment. They want Congress to work for them, not Congress instead to work for the members of Congress. And I note that there was a question that came up in one of the small towns in northwest Iowa. If you're president, how will you deal with Mitch McConnell? And Ted Cruz's answer was, with a smile, with delight.
Well, that's well put. Congress, I do want to touch about something that the senator himself discussed, that if he somehow loses Iowa and Donald Trump wins it, and then Donald Trump goes on to win New Hampshire, that he just might, that is, Trump, be unstoppable. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think that's a legitimate thing to look forward to and analyze, and it could be the case. I don't think anybody's going to quit if that should happen. But New Hampshire looks harder. South Carolina is an opportunity, even if Cruz finishes a second here in Iowa. But the focus here is get this turnout here in Iowa. Cruz has a strong turnout effort that I think has not been met any place on the Republican side. Maybe Barack Obama did that 8 years ago here in Iowa. So I think it's going to be this. It's going to be a tight race in Iowa on Monday night. I think Cruz nips Trump by a hair, and I think Rubio will be a distant third. That's my prediction, Neil.
Okay. All you Iowa guys don't need coats, do you? I noticed to a man and woman, just wearing a jacket, You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. You guys are like braving the cold. Thank you, Congressman. A real pleasure.